And you'll just have to control the questions and everything.
Okay.
I mean, I can kind of help.
All right. I think we're live. Welcome, everyone, to ULPLM, Universal Light, Pure Love Ministries. And today, our amazing guest is Emmie Nikolina Garcia from, oh, sorry, I bad pronunciations. From Emmy Rising. Emmy Evolving. Oh my gosh. I don't know where I'm at tonight. Oh my God.
Okay.
I told you the past few days, it's been crazy.
Emmie Nikolina Garcia from Emmy Evolving.
Right. From Emmy Evolving. Emmie, welcome and thank you for coming on and being with us.
Thank you for having me. This is very, very exciting. I've been very excited for this to come. And I can't wait.
Yes, I've been excited too. I love doing the podcasts. I love meeting new people. And of course, we've known you for a minute, and just hearing kind of everyone's experience and how we get to the places that we are and do the things that we do. And I find beauty in the growth of people. So I'm happy and excited to learn about your growth a little bit tonight.
Yes. My journey has been an unconventional journey, to say the least. It has relied heavily on the guidance of soul and just really learning to trust myself again. That's something that a lot of people in the spiritual community and just collective at large struggles with. We always go external and think that we don't have that inner guidance when really we do. We really do. And I've just had to learn that over and over and over again. So
yeah, I think that's probably the biggest one that most of us, just as humans, really remembering to trust ourselves, to take that first step, or just as we grow, we seem to like grow away from ourselves as opposed to into ourselves, and so that's
very key. My main mantra to myself is involution for evolution. You have to dive deep within yourself in order to evolve. Unless you do that very deep diving into your deepest trenches, your evolution will be superficial. It's not even going to be evolution at all. It's just going to be a fad type thing. And I think that's what a lot of people, they fall into the trap of the fads. Instead of, instead of like really analyzing how things fit into their truth, they just are quick to accept everything in very deep. And my truth, no matter how true it is for me, it doesn't necessarily make it true for other people. And that's why it's important. Yeah, it's very, very important. That's one of the things that I share the most when I go live and when I work with people. Listen to what others say, but don't take it in as your truth unless it truly resonates.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is really a big, big key, especially with so many awakening and coming into their own and seeking that information. That, yes, it's okay to listen and kind of take it in from everywhere. Ultimately, you want to take at least some from everywhere, right? You want to be that open.
Right.
But don't take anything so literal or so deep that isn't necessarily yours unless it truly resonates to your core, Yeah.
Right. And that was another thing. You totally got that thought to come back in right now, where not only do you not take everything literally, don't take everything personally either. Because and that's something I'm learning. I'm so trying to learn that. It's hard because as empaths we're so sensitive, and oftentimes we have such a struggle with voicing our needs, voicing our concerns, and we just kind of assume, and we don't even know where that's coming from. Are you assuming things based on how you're feeling or how they're feeling? Or is it something completely separate from that whole circumstance and you just don't know? Yeah.
Right. Yep, exactly. And taking that time to really get to know yourself and it really does take diving deep and learning as many aspects of yourself as possible to truly understand, especially empathic, where these things are kind of coming from and how to better deal with them.
Right. And, people are scared of drowning. If you're diving into your own waters, you are a magical mermaid. You don't drown. Those are your waters.
That's right.
dive into other people's waters, dive into your own. You won't drown in that
That's right.
water.
Yep. Yep. And yes, I mean, especially in my small area, it's a lot of people like to dive into other people's waters. Those are easier, you know, but it's really the big changes come and you really mean more even to your exterior world when you really live within yourself and you're being your true authentic spirit. Even if you're not necessarily being nice in a moment, people tend to appreciate that more and take more from it, leaving you of more value. You just left something in the world, imprinted something on someone that you didn't even realize.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Yes. Imprinting truths in
Yep.
a world full of possibly half truth and
Right.
illusion. That creates huge ripples in people's fields.
Yep.
Some people are like, oh, I want to be more like so and so. I want to be more like this person and that person. This is what I admire, and they fail to realize they're just recognizing that part of themselves in
Yep.
someone else. And people say that a lot, like whatever upsets you about someone else, that's a part of you you're refusing to acknowledge. It works both ways. Whatever you see within someone else that you admire, that's a fractal of yourself that you haven't yet acknowledged. And it's
Right.
important on this journey to not just rediscover who you are, but also embrace that. Like really
Yes.
just love on it. Every part of yourself, including the dark,
Yep.
because that's the
Yep.
only way we as a collective will shift our existence from a duality back to a totality. Yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly. It really, you do. I mean, getting people to understand, embracing those darker aspects of yourself, it makes you really that whole person. It helps you kind of walk in that balance. The darker aspects of myself really help the lighter aspects of myself to understand what I'm doing here and now. You know, it takes that balance of both aspects, both sides. Dark isn't necessarily evil. Light isn't necessarily good. These are just two aspects, two modalities that dance and make beautiful life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Life is a dance. You can either dance slow or dance fast. But in that dance, in order for that dance to be a successful, enjoyable one, you must remain flexibly strong. Strength is not in rigidity, it's in your ability to flow with life, to sway and bend and snap back if you need to, but you have to remain flexibly strong. And some people are like, I don't understand how you can live the life that you live. I mean, you're constantly on the road. There's all these things that attacks left and right. And because I'm flexibly strong, in The Matrix, that movie, The Matrix, was Neo strong because he was rigid? No, you see that part in the movie, that like part that everyone knows about, where he bends over backwards and he avoids those bullets, and he's strong. He's strong in that bending over backwards. He didn't break. Instead, he bent back and then he rose back up when danger was clear. And I think that's some of the things that mental alchemy tries to teach us. Jumping up while that pendulum swings below you so that you can observe without that emotion and hurt being your focus. And people aren't jumping. They're not jumping up. Instead, they're letting that pendulum hit them. And then they're like, why am I on the floor? Why am I sprawled out? And it's, well, you didn't jump. You're not observing your life. You're not observing your journey. Instead, you're focusing externally towards someone else's journey. And that's how the pendulum hits you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because I remember even raising my kids constantly saying the phrase, the world doesn't revolve around you. And as I'm getting older and I'm getting more ahas, I'm going, well, I may have misstated in a sense. The world doesn't revolve around any one individual. You're right. However, it really does, because whatever you're creating in here, your thoughts, your feelings, and how you respond and you deal with those things, that is your world. That is what you're going to create. So it does kind of entirely revolve around you.
Yes, Michael. For those of you who are not familiar with who I am, I work very closely with Archangel Michael, and he says the world doesn't revolve around us. Instead, we create the revolutions that create the world. And that is so true. It's so, so true. Our thoughts, they form standing scalar waves, and those standing scalar waves are the fabric of this creation. They are layered one upon the other, creating density and form. And so
Yep.
our minds, they're powerful enough to manipulate those standing scalar waves. And if you're going to create a situation and participate in a situation and think negatively about that situation, then negative is what you will harvest from that.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly it. And I know, because I just really, like I said, the past couple of days have been quite stressful. And normally in those moments, I'm huffing, I'm puffing, right? I'm using my Sagittarius as my scapegoat. I'm fiery, so it's just how I actually was able to breathe through the situation. And though it sucks, it's like, well, all right, where do we go from here? Being able to just kind of fall into the flow and go with where life is kind of taking you makes it so much easier.
Yes, yes, seriously. And you'll find that those events, the less you fight it, the faster it flows through. I had someone trying to argue with me about something, and I was like, well, just make your decision. And then once you've decided, I'll respond. I'm no longer going to enable you to cause me to merely react. I'll form
Right.
a response. And the
Yeah.
emotion was removed. And I was just like, well, if you're upset, you're upset. I'm not upset. I want a
Right.
resolution. And, if you don't want it yet, that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And that's, the way you got to be able to do that. You got to, and I call that just basically having your boundaries, knowing when to and when not to. And if you're triggered by something, and if you can stop yourself from emotionally reacting, you have no idea. You'll feel so like you're going, because you're giving yourself the time to really reflect on the emotion or that trigger, figure out why you're triggered and whether or not it's even worth a response.
Right. You know what I've realized is that sometimes when you're triggered based off of something that's rooted way beyond that circumstance.
Right.
Way beyond. And that circumstance is merely triggering a remembrance of the root of that issue that you're having. And
Right.
once you recognize that, it's kind of, you don't take it personal when someone else is doing these things anymore, whether they're intending to hurt you. You take
Right.
it, in a way that grows you versus just reacting.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Especially when you know that someone is coming at you and you kind of know their root, their cause, or where it's stemming from. Yeah. It does make it a lot easier to just kind of take yourself out of it and understand they're responding to something entirely different. And you can either take that in and create something out of it, or you can let them speak their piece and hopefully they'll feel better. It's off their chest, or they're going to move on and find someone else that'll take their stuff,
Right. And another thing that's really helped me when it comes to situations where confrontation might be necessary is understanding it's the hurt people who hurt people. And when
Right.
someone's already hurting as an empath, it's very difficult for me to go into a posture of absolutely destroying that person, because it's
Right.
like, oh gosh, they're already hurt so much. I can't be another one that's hurting them. I just,
Right.
you have something you need to deal with. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not taking it personal. If you need some help, just let me know. And that's really, really helped me on this journey. It's difficult for empaths to accept that not everyone's burden needs to be ours,
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to just be like, if you want help, let me know. But until you ask for help, I'm going to have to just separate that from, what I'm already carrying.
Right. Exactly. And I'm actually going through this, trying to get someone to understand that's in my close circle right now, is if you keep going at things the same way, it's going to keep happening the same way. You can run away from this all that you want to and think you've just left something behind, but take a good look. It's there with you. No matter what you do, you can run, you can hide, but it's all going to be there. And until you're willing to pick it up and go through it and say, hey, wait a second, I can use you, or you know what, I loved you, I honor you, but you're no longer for me, it's going to be there.
Right.
There is no hiding. It will follow you.
Yeah, right. You guys, we are creating these circumstances, they're part of us. They are an external manifestation of something that is rooted internally. You can't run from yourself.
That's
you can run, but you can't run from yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Just even when you use the bandages of drugs or alcohol or whatever, let's take a really good look at it. You can say, I feel better when I'm drinking, but what are you doing when you're drinking? And then how do you feel in the morning? You know what I mean? Most of the time, those that feel better when they're drinking, that are hiding things or trying to cover up, you're bawling and crying and whining and being big blubber babies while you're drinking. And you're waking up with a hangover and feeling heavy and just, ugh. Does it really make you feel better?
No.
You know, it really is about simply looking at yourself and understanding you're not going to get away from you.
Right.
Wherever you are, there you are.
Yeah. Yeah, you really, really can't. It takes a lot of courage to be able to look at yourself, not necessarily fix everything.
Right.
That first step of just looking at who you are, who you become, for me personally, that was difficult. That was difficult because I had a lot of this societal and religious programming really deeply ingrained. And I was like, I shouldn't be able to do the things that I do. I have to be evil. This has to be evil. This has to be rooted in something dark and evil. And man, that goes back to my whole journey where how did I learn that I could do this? Where did I learn it from? How did I figure this out? Because so much darkness, there's nothing. It's like a nothingness. And so if people begin to embrace all their parts and exist in center, there's no trying in center. You don't need to balance. You don't need to try. By being in center, you already are naturally. Yeah. And so when you exist in center, embrace all your parts, naturally you have that protection and that buffer zone that keeps you from feeling too much of that pain as you experience these lessons. Pain is necessary, but the level of the pain, the struggle especially, that's optional. Yeah, that's absolutely optional.
Exactly. It really is. I mean, and I don't want to take away from anyone that really feels like they are stuck in a struggle that they have no control over. There are those circumstances that, have been created either from past lives or from other people, or just, there are those times where we can still make that struggle a lot easier on ourselves by having that positive attitude, embracing the fact that at this moment I may have this limitation, but there are no limitations. I will get past. And when you're able to kind of keep that, it just, the amount of suffering truly is optional.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And no matter how painful.
Either. So anyone that's looking at me saying easier, yes, I know it is easier. So it is moment to moment. You have to work on those things within yourself until it becomes part of just what you're doing. How we kind of just automatically wake up in the morning when we're not tired anymore, or we automatically are breathing. It becomes one of those things where we're just automatically within that space.
Yeah. That's definitely a beautiful way to see it. I think one of the most important questions that we need to ask ourselves, when did we become so afraid of pain?
Right.
What is it about pain that we avoid it in any way we can? And it's just this lack of remembrance that it's the pain that teaches us. Pain is the greatest teacher you will ever come across in this life. And the more painful it is, the more pain involved, the more you will remember that lesson.
That's
so when you're hurting, when you're hurting, the more you hurt, the more you're going to need to internalize the fact that this is going to teach me something so profound. I'm going to more than survive. I'm going to thrive. But right now I need to learn this lesson. And it's going to involve some pain because I've refused, up until this point, I've refused to learn it in a compassionate way for myself. And so now my higher self has opted to teach me in a way that's more painful, because sometimes the painful way is more effective in teaching.
Right. Sorry, my poopies bark at everything. He's trying to get them before they all get going. They will get it sounding like a zoo in here. Apologies. But exactly. Being able to work in that balance and understanding all aspects of yourself. I mean, it doesn't come easy. It really does take that work of understanding, because it really is my dark sides that kind of protect me as well. And when I'm in that space that I don't understand, I run to the dark. I go and I delve into the deep dark side of myself and say, okay, what's going on here? Where, because in my view and in my experience, it's the dark is the nurturer. That's the one that goes to me. She's not judging. I can just let it all go. And I have the time to understand what it is that I need to do to get back out and show my light and be in the light and be who I am. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
and for a lot of people, it's, I guess, opposite. They find the light is their comforter, their blanket, and that's okay too. But understand that there's no right and wrong. I don't have to be enveloped in the light to feel like I'm in comfort. I actually like to get back to my root. I like to get down to the dark when I need that comfort, you know? And that doesn't make me an evil or bad or wrong person. Because ultimately, I like to go down there into my seed in the dark in order to help shine my light properly so that I'm not dark or manipulative or evil, you know?
Yes. Yeah. We're very similar in that respect. Like when something hurts me so deeply, I get real dark. I retreat as far into my shell as I can and I let that darkness envelop me. And
Yeah,
it's just this sitting in stillness and silence. And sitting in that darkness, you guys, it doesn't make you evil in any
right,
way. Sometimes when your light shines so bright, being wrapped in light does not give you clarity.
right,
Sometimes, if your light is that bright, you have to sit in that darkness so that you gain perspective of exactly where your boundaries are. What is your
right.
light? It gives you clarity. The darker you get,
Yeah,
the more clarity you have for your light. It
that's
has nothing to do with evil, has nothing to do with good. It's
right.
merely fractals of yourself. And you're
Yeah,
allowing yourself to exist in center. You're mixing that light and the dark together to give clarity for both, to give you some light on your path. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a painful thing, but it's so beautiful to be able to do that and to understand. A lot of people don't understand this, where they
right,
think, "Oh, she's talking about darkness. That's evil. So she's talking
right.
about evil things." But it's
Yeah,
not. It's at
right.
all. And
Yeah,
some people, they've come on my lives and they don't understand the work that I'm doing, and they're like, "Oh, that's evil." No, it's not. I'm helping people.
right,
Or some people are like,
right.
"Oh, she's so love and light." No, I'm dark. I'm dark. Yeah, I'm
Yep,
not ashamed of it. The key is to not stay in that darkness. You don't want
right,
to reject your darkness, but you don't want to
right.
stay in your darkness either and have it consume you. You harness that
Yep,
darkness like a blankie. You wrap it around
yeah,
you when you're feeling cold, when you need some comfort, and then you let it go when you're done. When you're feeling strong again, let it go. And that's existing in center.
yep, exactly. Yep. I'm glad that you see it that way too, because it really is hard to get people to understand that. We've had those labels for so long that it's hard to get people to understand that there really isn't. I mean, I'm not saying there's not evil in the world. There is. We're in a dual world right now where there is good and there is evil. Even throughout the universe, I'm sure. But for the most part, we can't label it simply there's dark and there's light. I've seen so much dark come from light. It's almost scary, you know. Um, but then at the same time, I've seen a lot of light come from the darkness. That that is just absolutely beautiful and profound. So when we put that label or that kind of mindset on ourselves that if it's not exactly this, it's not light, and if it's not exactly that, it's not it's dark. We kind of are putting ourselves out of balance, really, because we're putting ourselves in this frame of mind as it has to be like this or it has to be like that, and it makes it very hard to really truly embrace yourself when you are so stuck in the have tos and this is this and this is that, because each of us are human beings. We are all one, but just living the unique life that we all get to live shows us that throughout one, we're individual. We all learn different ways. We all express different ways. We all learn in different ways. What is severely painful to me might be like someone just, tapped you on the arm, right? But for the next person, it could feel like they were dying. It's about understanding who you yourself are living in this lifetime today is, and how it correlates with everything that you've already learned from past lifetimes, from your experience as a whole.
Right.
And then being able to use that in this world without judgment.
Yeah. That, I don't necessarily have a problem with judgment. I think judgment is absolutely necessary to help you to discern.
Well,
It's the
yes, that's true.
condemnation. People are so
Okay,
quick to
that's a
condemn.
better word. That's a
Yes.
much better word. Yes, yes.
Yeah. And where is that rooted in, though? That need to condemn, oftentimes, what I've found is that the people who need to condemn are the ones who are so fragile and they
Yes.
don't know what they are, who they are, what they stand for, why they're falling. And so they're quick to like externalize it. You need to be condemned.
Right.
You're bad. You're evil. You're dark. Dark is evil, apparently. And it's this thing where if you know who you are, you will cease to condemn others. You will cease to need that approval in
Right.
order to exist, in order to
Right.
walk your path. And that's what I find with my when I live stream and people don't agree, uh, usually based on their religious grounds. They don't agree with the work that I do. And if I don't agree with someone, I stop watching the live streams, just whatever. You
Yeah.
know, they're not intentionally harming, just whatever. But then there's those people that comment and they're trying to get everyone else like, you guys shouldn't be doing this. But why? If you're so secure in your beliefs, if your beliefs are the truth,
Right.
why do you need other
Yeah.
people to agree? Like, I know for me, what I do is my truth. I
Yes.
have lived so many years where I was afraid of myself because just like many other empaths, those who are very gifted, they're afraid, what if I lose control? I might hurt someone. What
That
if
is
I
my
hurt someone?
deepest fear. I'll admit
Yes.
it. It's always been myself.
Yes, yes. That was really the only thing I was afraid of was me. Like, what if I lose control? And
Yeah.
I came to realize the fact that I'm worried about that, constantly worried, I would never hurt anyone intentionally ever. No matter what they did to me, I would never do it. And I've come to realize that for everyone who is highly gifted and is afraid of their gifts, like, you guys are the last ones who would ever hurt yourselves. Like, you
Right.
really are the last ones. And it's just this need to no longer look for outside validation. Like, know
Right.
who you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
know who you are at this point. At this point in your
Yep.
journey, accept the fact that you are a good person. Whether you're light or
Yep.
dark, you are a good person. All you want to do is help. And so allow
That's
yourself to embrace your gifts so you can begin helping other people. And that's how I kind of got on this path that I'm on now. When we became friends, I was still just starting with letting people know that I'm even doing any of this. And
right.
I don't know if you remember, I was just, I don't know. I don't hurt anyone. I don't know. I'm kind of silent in the chat just because I don't know. I don't want people to think I'm bad. I don't want people to think I'm
Right.
going to hurt anyone. But the moment there's a need, the moment there's a need to defend, a need to protect, after all of that is done, you guys, I'm so sorry I got bossy.
Yeah.
We need to make sure everyone's okay. I'm so sorry. Because there is this part of us that just, we're lovers, you know,
Yes.
dark or light, we're just lovers. We want to love in any way that we can.
Right.
And there's nothing bad about that at all. I'm recognizing that now. There's nothing bad about loving at all.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah, that it is way beautiful. I think I saw a question, but it's like my computer's weird. It's the first time I've been in charge of everything. Sorry. Oh, wait. Wait. It says where to go. Okay. Oh, it just keeps wanting to flip back up on me as soon as I get it. See, Debbie Earl Becker. I'm sorry. I am so bad with pronunciation, everybody. I lost my dad back in March of this year. I don't know who I am anymore. I'm so devastated. I don't even want to continue my contract here. I was going to start a business called Mystic Journeys, and I'm sure I'm blocked. I thought I had purpose, but not so much anymore. I am in pain from the pain.
So, Debbie, remember what we were just talking about. The pain is what grows you. If you're in pain from the pain, can you imagine the amount of growth you're experiencing right now? I've found that when we lose someone, the pain that we experience, it's not supposed to go away. That will be a constant reminder of the depths of the love and the bond that we shared in this life. And I know for a fact, I know this for a fact based on the work that I do, everything I've experienced, that type of love does not end with the vessel. It continues on the other side. And as that person transitions to the other side, that love doesn't just continue, it actually amplifies and expands. There's no more body to contain that love. And so the love expands. I'm being told right now, your dad, he's frustrated. He's frustrated because you are a fighter, is what he's saying. She's a fighter. This is nonsense. This is nonsense about the contract. That's what he's saying. And he's basically, he goes, if you have to guilt her, go ahead and do it. I don't want to guilt you, but he's saying you have to do this because this is what he is wanting and needing from the other side. He is watching. He's absolutely watching, and he wants you to prove him right about you being a fighter. He doesn't just want you to survive this. He wants you to thrive and touch as many people as you can and help heal the way you had promised you would before coming into Vessel. Definitely take some time to mourn, but don't stay there, okay? I don't want you to feel as though you have to ignore your need to mourn, because that's important too, okay? But he doesn't want you to stay there. Take the time you need, but don't stay in that mourning state. I hope you feel somewhat better soon, Debbie. I really do.
I'm sending you some good energy. It can be tough when we lose someone, but then they're never really gone. They're always right there.
Right.
Let's see here. Lots of just awesome comments. Sorry. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions or anything.
Jessica Toll says, do you have a message?
Jessica Toll says, do you have a message? What?
From her sister.
From her sister. Jessica Toll.
I do. She says you're exactly where you need to be. And you have so much that you're going to accomplish in this life. And she's just been watching. She's absolutely been watching. And she sees that you're ready to release that huge, huge load of grief. You've been carrying that with you since she left, and she felt very badly about that. But at this point, she recognizes that you no longer need to hold on to that, and she's okay with that. You're not letting her go. You're letting that unnecessary go. She says you better get your passport done because there's places needing to be seen. So, Jessica, definitely get your passport done. I'm sure you remember that this is the year you're going to be traveling abroad. So you're going to be traveling quite a bit. She is saying that she's going to keep on you until you get that done because apparently we're going to be traveling much sooner than expected. I don't know to where, but she says it's going to be much sooner than expected. Okay?
Awesome. Let's see here. Any more? I'm going up. Sorry. This new thing, I have to use 2 fingers to move it like this, and then I'm sorry. I'll get the hang of it though. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. Appreciate ya. Yes. Oh, yes. We should talk a little bit more about your page where people can find you to get, your readings, or you're doing some now aura drawings that I find to be absolutely fabulous.
So I have a page here on Facebook. It's called Emmy Evolving. I also have a website, emmyevolving.com. On my website, you can book a whole bunch of different sessions. I have different products on there that are geared to assist you in your spiritual journey. On my Emmy Evolving page here on Facebook, I go live pretty frequently. I do guided meditations. I've started to share some of my inner child work. My inner child loves to paint, and I hadn't painted for years, so many years. And the other day I was kind of running late. I knew I need to go live. I knew I need to do my inner child work. I was tired from driving. So I was like, I'll just do both at once. And I, you know, I've been told for about a month or two already that this is something that I needed to do and share and do for other people. And I was just like, no one's going to want that. No one's going to want to see that. That's just, no, we don't do that. And it turns out that, again, my higher self has been guiding me in such a beautiful way to help accomplish the very things that I promised to do in this life. And one of them was to help give people clarity, allow them to see once again who they are, their energy, and all of that. And, most people have a hard time visualizing, being able to see energy. And so the paintings, it's a beautiful way to really see, get in your hands proof of how your energy looks and see what parts of you need to focus on a little bit more, what parts you've already worked on enough and can kind of just maintain instead of really focusing on. And so it's important. It's all the work that your higher self is asking you to do. Every single part of it is important. And I still do fall into that trap of, no one's going to want to see that. But, who are we to decide what will inspire other people?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it. And you can actually look at the mainstream TV on like Cartoon Networks and some of these places that are actually, a lot of people watch these things. For me, some of them I'm going, really? This is what people watch? But then I look at myself and I go, well, look at some of the things you did and some of the things that you wish you could have done. And yeah, you don't know what will inspire others or what's going to, hit someone's heartstrings or where your creations, what it will actually turn into. You know what I mean? Because I've noticed no matter when we're creating, we start with a seed, but it always grows into something different.
Yes. And I find, with that analogy, can you tell a seed how to blossom?
Yep.
Are you able to tell a seed that? Are you able to control the way the roots grow and all of that? No, you don't get a say in that. The plant just grows. And if people want to bury you in darkness, let them. You are a seed. If you need to cry it out because that's what's going to water your seed.
Yeah.
And always, always, always stand in the light of your truth, because it's that light that will encourage you to grow. What do plants do? They grow up to try and reach the light. And that's a beautiful thing. Allow yourself to be rooted in your dark parts and allow the other parts of you to reach for your light. And
that's right.
That's I think personally that's a beautiful way to be. Just
too.
being you. Yeah.
Yep. And then Lori also wanted to know if you had anything from her dad, who passed a year and a half ago.
Okay.
15 years.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I'm getting I keep seeing him on a bed. He's kind of just laying there and he's kind of just bored. Have you not been doing the things that make you feel alive, make you feel happy and have purpose? Because he has this look on his face that is just like monotony. That's just monotony. And I think he's trying to encourage you to put yourself out there more. Not necessarily go live and do everything public, but put yourself out there more. You have been really withholding yourself from people. And you're a gift. You're absolutely a gift. You're not recognizing that. And he's reminding you of that. That you need to share who you are. You have such a beautiful heart. And I understand that it still feels somewhat broken. But he's showing there are people on all sides of you trying to push those parts of your heart back together. And you're not allowing them. You have to allow people who love you to love you, because they want the best for you. You don't have to carry all of this hurt on your own. There are those in your life right now who are wanting to shoulder this heavy load with you, and you should allow them. Definitely allow them. He says that you're the one that takes care of everything all the time, and you never allow anyone to take care of you. I was having a conversation with a really good friend, and the topic of who looks out for the strong people when the strong people are down. And I think that very much applies to you. People want to help you. You have this energy about you where you're strong, you're stoic, but inside it's like you're hurting so much and you just don't want to let it out. It's not going to grow you. Holding on to that, it doesn't grow you. It's like putting a seedling in a little planter and forcing them to stay in there. Those roots are trying to find a way out, and your light is trying to find a way out. Your dad wants you to allow that at this point. Okay?
Awesome. Then, is it Brinny Kamar? It felt drawn. Would love a message from you.
Okay. I see balloons. Are you expecting a child? Because I see balloons and someone holding their belly. Hold on. I don't think this is a physical child. I think you are rebirthing yourself. Wow. You are rebirthing yourself. You're shedding a lot of layers. It's been very painful. You feel very raw, but you are rebirthing yourself. You are being squeezed right now. It's a lot of constricting your energy, and it's frustrating, and it seems almost unnecessary. But in birth, what happens to the child? They are squeezed through that birth canal. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of pressure, it's a huge mess, and at the end of it, we have a brand new life. And I've come to understand, having birthed 4 children myself, the pressure that you experience as you're traveling down the birth canal, excuse me, it serves a purpose. That pressure is what gets at all the unnecessary from your lungs so that you can breathe again. You haven't been able to breathe in a long time. You have absolutely dived into the waters of others and taken all of that fluid into your lungs, and you have been able to breathe. And so now you're needing to shed all of those people. You're needing to shed all of that drama. You're being pushed down the birth canal. It's pressurized space. And so all of that gunk from your lungs is being pushed out. Flow with it. Does a baby fight its mother as she is trying to birth it? No, you have to flow with it. It's not just the mother that feels the pain during that birth. I'm pretty sure the head, I'm pretty sure that hurts. But that pain teaches you something. That pain absolutely teaches you something. And, you have to allow submission, full submission, not to other people, but to your higher self. Your higher self is very adamant that this process not be halted or slowed down. As a matter of fact, it feels like it's going to accelerate and continue to accelerate, just like with contractions. They get closer together and they get stronger, and that's what's happening. But it's not going to last forever. It's going to end in a little bit, okay? I'd say maybe another month or two, and then you're going to have an aha moment and like, all right, I got this. And that's a beautiful place too, to be able to experience everything and then realize at some point, like, oh, okay, that's what this is for. Okay, it helps me, it grows me. Yeah.
Yep. All right. And then Jobeth asked, Jobeth, is that what I say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I feel as though I'm at a standstill and haven't been able to tune in for a while. Would appreciate your help.
Okay. Jobeth, I do believe you have a blockage, a very significant blockage. It looks as though it's in front of your solar plexus, slightly below, and partially covering your sacral chakra. I'm just scanning real quick. Jobeth, do I have your permission to extract, to do a parasitic extraction? Okay. So it's okay? All right. Breathe very deep and very slow. Jobeth, you might experience some cramping and tingling, some sensations of ice fire along your entire abdomen. And you might feel some pressure and tapping. I'm going to pulverize that blockage. All right, Jobeth, I'm going to go ahead and wrap you with some hydroplasmic frequency as well. You might feel tingling all over. This hydroplasmic frequency will fill any void from the extraction, as well as supporting and accelerating your self-healing. So I'm just checking your chakras again. Okay, realigning. You might get very dizzy and feel as though your body's expanding in all directions, okay? All right, Jovit. I hope you feel much better.
All right. And Lena Marty says her landlord is evil. Will she move soon?
Let me just check that. You can definitely suggest to your landlord to have an extraction with me. That that might help. But what I'm getting is this: your landlord is actually being used as a way to push you to where you need to be. That area is not where you need to be, and your guides and guardians were trying to tell you this, but you don't listen very well. Just like me, I don't listen to my guides. And so now the landlord is being used to kind of push you out and encourage you to go somewhere that's more in alignment with your energy and your purpose.
And then Katrina wants to know, this new guy she's dating, is he a good guy or is he a dud?
Dead? Or a dud?
Dud.
A dud, okay. I'm getting that he's kind of just there to pass the time. Not because of him, but because you're just not interested. He doesn't have anything to offer that would make you want to stay past the initial curiosity phase. So, and oftentimes when we ask these type of questions, it's like we already know what the answer is and we kind of just want the confirmation. I think you already know this. You're not really interested, but you also don't want to be bored. So, hang out. I mean, you can keep hanging out with him. He doesn't seem like something that would hurt you or harm you in some way, but know that it will hurt his feelings. The longer you hang out with him, the more attached he will get. He is genuinely in very deep like with you. Like he likes you a lot. But, if you're not interested, you're not interested.
Right. And then Holly Gregerson would love to just hear something that needs to be said to her today.
Do you have Krispy Kreme near you? Because I hear donuts. I'm going to have to ask you to go when the hot lamp is on. I haven't been able to eat donuts in years. And so I would love for you to eat a donut for me. I'm getting that with that, your higher self was showing donuts with sprinkles. So what I'm getting from that visual is that your higher self is telling you will be tasting the sweet life soon. Okay. You've been very hungry. You've been feeling very malnourished. Donuts are not exactly the most nourishing, but it is very sweet. It's a nice little treat to pick up that blood sugar again. And it's almost as though your blood sugars have gone down. You feel lethargic. And I know when I'm hangry, I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I'm just over it. And I think that's where you're at this point. And your higher self is like, we're going to give you some donuts. We're going to give you a pick me up. So things are going to get better. Things are going to get much better. Um, your higher self says, wait for it. I think, do you have a hard time being patient? It totally says, wait for it.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I'm all stuck. All righty. Okay, whoops. So, well, I don't see any more. I'm sure there's going to be another question I'm going to come to, but just because we're getting close to our end time, if you want to tell everyone again where they can kind of find you, and if you have any kind of events or anything going on or anything like that, and I will see if there's any more questions here, and we'll maybe do a couple more, and then thank you so much for being here. I have so loved talking to you tonight.
Right. I feel the same. I love this. This has been so enjoyable. So my website is emmieevolving.com. You can book sessions, and I can't remember if I have any events. Oh my gosh, Norma, the more you do energetic work, it's like the more of your brain is claimed by energetic work, and your short-term memory is just gone. Yeah. Well, I typically have auctions every Saturday. I make selenite swords and other things, and I auction them every Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my page, Emmie Evolving. I also do a lot of live streams throughout the week. On Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I do what I call Soul Work Sunday. Although I do charge for my services on my website, there's a huge part of me that would love to do everything for free. And so, in order to honor my soul's desire to do this, my heart's desire, I set aside Sunday, and I'm usually on for 2-3 hours doing completely free work. There's absolutely no charge. There's no line. You just keep commenting what your need is, what your question is, whatever it is you need. And if I happen to be led to your comment, then I take care of you right then and there. There's no additional charge for anything. So that's on Sundays. And then Saturdays, of course, my auctions. But is that still the question? I would love to get any kind of help you can offer me. Lots of things.
That was it. Yep, that was okay. I did find one more question. Sorry. Okay. And I did not put it up. I was just sitting on it.
So Maria says, I would love to get any kind of help you can offer me. Lots of things happening, can't seem to move forward. Okay, let me go ahead and scan you, Maria.
Where is it? I just had it.
Oh, okay, now it's Windwalker. She says, would love to hear from my friend that passed away in home unexpectedly. During my care, anything from him. Oh, I'm so sorry, Windwalker. I love you too, Tammy. So, Windwalker, what I'm getting is that there was nothing you could have done to stop any of that. Nothing at all. When it's your time, it's your time. And your friend that passed away, they had learned the things that they came into this life to learn. And from the feeling that I get, he was actually very honored that he transitioned with you caring for him, that you were the one he favored amongst everyone. And it really, really honored him that you were there. And he felt bad that you carried so much of that guilt because you're a very sensitive empath and you want to love, and you love so deep and so hard. And there was really nothing you could have done to stop that. It wasn't anything negligent. It wasn't any sort of incompetence in any way. It was just his chosen time to go. And again, he keeps reiterating how absolutely blessed and thankful he is that you agreed to be the one that would allow him to exit. You allowed him to exit with you there, caring for him. And he has so much love for you. It feels as though you've shared multiple lifetimes together, and you guys have been friends and have assisted each other multiple times. And it seems as though, from what I'm being shown, it's like the I want to say either World War I or World War II. Normandy. I hear Normandy. You guys were there together, and one of you transitioned as well. And you guys have some sort of thing where multiple lives, you help each other transition. It's not necessarily like a boyfriend girlfriend type thing. It's this like really strong bond. So, Windwalker, please, I hope you take that to heart. How much you honored him by being the one who cared for him up to his last breath. Okay.
All right, and then we're going to do one more before we head out. And, I think I did. Okay, did I hide it now? I did, didn't I? Jeez Louise. Okay, I think it's up there. Erin Marcel would love a scan.
All right. So if you guys are not familiar with the work that I do, I'm able to do a biospiritual scan. And what that is, I can see on multiple levels of your density, meaning I can see just energy, I can see down to like inside your body, or if need be, I can go down to a submolecular, subatomic level. Okay. So Erin, let me see. All right. Erin, it looks like you have a few latchings from the base of your skull down your neck to the upper left shoulder blade. It seems as though you are indeed from the angelic lineage. You have wings. Your left wing seems to have been atrophied quite a bit, no feathers, because one of the latchings has been feeding from the energy of the left wing. Right wing looks okay. There's a lot of misalignment. It's kind of skewed. The left side is higher, right side is lower. Overly developed supportive muscles in the right shoulder blade area. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a little bit of a spinal curve in between your shoulder blades. It's very, the energetic wings are very disproportionate in size. Seems like it's been that way since you were about 17. That's when your wings first sprouted. I'm 17 years old. Your right kidney also has a latching. It seems to struggle just a little bit. It seems like the right kidney is the one that filters most of your bodily waste, and so that's more taxed than the left. You have mild adrenal fatigue. Again, the right side more heavily fatigued than the left. Turning you around. I detect an implant above your left inner ear. You might feel pressure. You might feel heat. Tracking who is part of that implant. All right, Erin, that's part of your higher self. It seems that you have a team that helps you. That implant is almost like an earpiece where they use to communicate. Your higher self says you don't listen to you don't listen to yourself very well. That implant is supposed to amplify the message, and you've blocked it. It looks almost, if it was in physiological terms, it looks like calcification around it, and it's encased it, but it's still on an energetic level. Your higher self has asked me to break apart the calcification. You might get a little bit of a headache. Okay, you might hear a little bit of ringing in your left ear and pressure. Implant is full active. You have a blockage in your throat chakra. Pulverizing the blockage. Clearing the blockage. Multiple latchings in the heart space. Sphere found in the upper right heart space. Erin and Norma, you might want to shield. So everyone in the audience might begin to feel a little bit tingly. I'm providing all of you shielding as well. Just tracking to see what's going on. All right, whatever that was has left. So Erin, I'm going to go ahead and remove all of those spheres from your chest. All right, scanning. You have latchings in your liver and your gallbladder. Those two organs are very much tied to resentment and anger. You have to process those things. You stuff them down quite a bit, those emotions, and you don't let it go, but you're very silent about it. So not too many people realize that. You have to release that because the energetic circumstance in the liver and the gallbladder, it is beginning to permeate into your density, meaning it's beginning to affect the actual organ itself. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that. It will return unless you decide to do that work on your own to keep it purged and clear, okay? Parasitic pouch 2 inches below your belly button. You might feel me enter the space. You might feel squirming, cramping, scooping, ice fire, and the sensation of being emptied out. Running God fire through the void. All right. Scanning. Latching right groin. Extracted. Inner left knee. Extracted. Okay. You might feel some pressure around your head. Scanning the brain. Right temporal lobe, just above ear. Extracted. Right parietal lobe. Left frontal cortex. Left jaw hinge. left tragus, scanning back of head, pons, you have a significant latching in your lamina quadrimeningia. I'm sorry, I can never pronounce that. Yeah, it's the partition area in between the two. You might feel me in the center of your brain. All right, that's clear. Lowest part of your cerebellum. Brain is clear. Scanning the rest of your body. Clear, scanning deep core. Clear, auric scan. Field is clear. I'm going to now wrap you in hydroplasmic frequency. All right. So, Erin, you might experience some very nice feelings for the rest of the evening. And then tomorrow, you might experience some very not nice feelings for about 7 to 10 days. So, typically, what ends up happening when I run these type of energies through an auric field and through your luminous bodies, it induces an energetic detox. With that, you can experience flu-like symptoms for 7 to 10 days. No fever, though. Okay, you might experience sensations of hot flashes, but absolutely no fever should be experienced. You can also expect to have some body aches, especially in the areas where I did the extractions. You might also experience some elevated emotional rawness. Your higher self has asked me to go ahead and reconstruct that left wing. Is that okay with you? Oh, he says, I feel so light and amazing.
Gosh dang it. Sorry, I accidentally pushed another button and took it away.
Oh, he's been having problems in all of those areas. Interesting. So I'm Kathy Graves, believe her, 7 to 10 days. I'm sorry I did that, Kathy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reconstruct the left wing. This is gonna feel it can feel somewhat intense. I'll send sedation to the area as well so that it's not as intense in feeling. You might also feel as though your back is being adjusted like how you would with a chiropractor, okay? There's a lot of skeletal displacement because of that energetic load. Let me see. Breathe in very deep. Exhale fully, very slow. All right. Realigned. I'm going to go ahead and begin reconstruction. All right, Erin, I'm going to be calling down God seed energy. That's basically like energetic stem cells. So, for those of you who are sensitive to energy, you might feel this as well. It can feel very much like tingly euphoria. So, Erin, breathe very deep and very slow. Wrapping it around your wings. Erin, I want you to see your wings in your mind's eye. I want you to begin moving them around. Shake them off, stretch them out. The more you move them, the more this God seed energy will spread to the places where it's needed. I want you to now take the tips of your wings and point them straight up. All right. How do you feel, Erin?
He's saying his
what
back feels great right now.
Yay! Yay! So, with that, you might feel extra sore tomorrow. What I had found upon closer inspection, your left wing wasn't just displaced, it was full on dislocated. So, I went ahead and popped it back into place, and that corrected the way your scapula, your shoulder blades sit, physiologically speaking. It also straightened out the spinal curve that I noticed. And I went ahead and strengthened the muscles. So there's no more of that muscle imbalance. Of course, you're going to have to continue or start some sort of fitness program that will continue to strengthen your back every day. Every single time you think of your wings, move them around. In your head, move them around. So that way, every single time you move it, excuse me, more of that God seed energy will be called in as well as dispersed through your wings. Okay? That was so awesome.
And so many people are eager, and everyone, I wish we could go a little bit longer, but you know what? Go find her on her website or on her page. She does lots of live feeds where she does her free work. Or you could gift her and honor her by paying for a session, and honor yourself by gifting yourself an honor with or a session with her. So I'm sorry for everyone that we missed. And thank you for everyone that's here. We appreciate you. And Emmie, if ever we can find some time, we got to have you again.
Yes, I'm absolutely open to it. You know, as
Awesome.
many times as you guys need to bring me on, I'm definitely willing to.
Awesome. All right. Well, we love you, and thank you, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.
Good job.
I think it's ending.
Great job, Emmy. That was awesome.
Yes, you did
Thank you.
beautifully.
I know you
So
couldn't see me,
awesome.
but I'm here.
I was gonna be like,
good.
Aaron, where are you? Oh my gosh! So, just to let you guys know, there was something that was trying to enter the space. Did you guys feel that?
You know, for a second, I did kind of feel a
Yeah, I
little
felt some
something
stuff
there.
on my head. I had like some sharp pains in my head.
So that's
During
one
that.
thing. Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Well, that's one thing that you guys might want to take into consideration if you're going to have me come back on. There is a very focused, concentrated attempt to harm me, and so they try and follow me through every live stream. And every live stream, I like openly negate it. And so, you know, I do offer shielding and everything for everyone when they watch. But that's
Awesome.
lovely.
See, I'm not even sure if we're done.
Yeah,
Are
I
we
deal
done?
with a lot